The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug in 3D. As you know, this is the second in the series. The three-part series, I have already reviewed part one, An Unexpected Journey. We're going to talk about the Desolation of Smaug tonight, and then part three is the Battle of Five Armies, which we will get to. So let's get back to the Desolation of Smaug in 3D extended edition. This is the extended edition, 5 discs in here, but we're only going to talk about the 2 3D discs. So you're going to get 2 3D discs in here. It's in 2 parts. Each disc is about an hour and a half. It's 3 hours total because you have the extended version here. This is a 2013 release. This is 2.35 to 1 aspect ratio, so you will get the black bars at the top and the bottom if you're watching this on a television set. Dolby digital sound. This is 7.8 on the International Movie Database, 74% critics approval score on Rotten Tomatoes, and 85% audience approval score on Rotten Tomatoes. There's so many stars here. There's just so many, but I'm just going to name a few here. You got Peter Jackson is the director. You know, he also directed Lord of the Rings. This came about 11 years after. I think the last Lord of the Rings was 2003. This came out 10 years after. Okay, it stars Ian McKellen as Gandalf, and if I mispronounce these names, please forgive me. You got Martin Freeman as Bilbo in here. You've got Orlando Bloom as Legolas is back. Evangeline, the lovely Evangeline Lilly, here is Tariel. Benedict Cumberbatch is the voice of Smaug. I don't know if you knew that. Luke Evans here is his bard, and the stars go on and on and on. I don't want to leave anybody out, but I'm telling you what, I left out a ton. You want to know who the stars are? Go ahead and Google that. This is a cinematic masterpiece. You definitely want to watch this in 3D. We're going to get into 3D in a minute. But let me knock that out of the way right now. You're going to want to watch this in 3D. This whole series, you know, I love a linear story. I love the Wizard of Oz. You start out here and you got to go down this trail and you got to get here. I love this linear story. They take you along on this journey. That's what I love about this. Now, look, arguably, and you can argue this if you want, Lord of the Rings is probably, if not, I'm going to have to say Lord of the Rings is the greatest fictional cinematic masterpiece of all time. I mean, you can't deny that. But here's the thing. That was done 10 years before this. There have been some improvements in the CGI and stuff. I personally like this story better. That's just me. I love The Hobbit, maybe because I grew up, I read The Hobbit, I knew the story. I like this 3-part series myself, just a little bit better than Lord of the Rings, but you can't knock Lord of the Rings out of first place, and I don't intend to even think about doing that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you about the plot of The Hobbit. If you don't know about the plot of The Hobbit, then you're probably not even watching this. I mean, I'm sure you've read The Hobbit. This 3-part series, this brings us right into the middle of the story. Okay, this is a part of the journey where they got to seek refuge. Gandalf has his own problems going on. He separates. They come into this village. You will get to see the dragon here, of course. You get to see the dragon, and there's a great sequence here in the dragon with Bilbo. So, look, this is going to blow you away. Okay, this story is just the cinematography. Peter Jackson just knocks it out of the park. The cinematography, the directing, the music score. Let's talk about a little bit about the music score. The music score is fantastic. It's perfect for this movie. The music score. The balance on the sound was just a little off. I had to go up a couple of notches on the volume and down a couple of notches, but nothing too drastic. Just a little bit off for me. Let's talk about the 3D now, because I know that's probably why you're here. The 3D, I want to say this, the 3D can be phenomenal at times, mediocre at times, flat as other times. You will get pop-outs. You'll get bees coming out, floating around right out of the screen into the room. You're going to get some pop-outs. You're going to get some arrows popping out. You're going to get some spears sticking out. You're going to get some rocks flying out. You're going to get your pop-outs. You're going to get your stick-outs. You're going to get your fly-outs. And you're going to get some astounding 3D scenes, especially down with the dragon. Astounding, absolutely incredible 3D scenes. And then you're going to get your flat sequences. It's just the way it is. It doesn't take away, though, from the 3D in that respect. Kind of gives you a little bit of a break. Would I rather watch this in 3D? Absolutely. This is absolutely a 3D, how do I want to say it? It's a must-see. It's a must-see in 3D. Absolutely. It's reference quality. I have to say that. If nobody's ever seen 3D before, it's definitely reference quality 3D. And it's very easy on the eyes. It's not that really sharp stereoscopic 3D where it can be rough on your eyes. This is very easy on the eyes. You will have some great depths at times, and then other times you probably, and you really won't notice it. I do, because I've been doing this for 3 years now. There are some flat sequences in here where they may have dropped the ball, but man, when it needs to be good, it's good. When it needs to be good, it's there. And so that's my take on this, The Hobbit in 3D, The Desolation of Smaug. I watched this once before. I watched it in 3D about a year ago, but I said, I'm not going to review it. I'm not going to give it, I'm not going to review the 3D. I have to watch it again. And that's why I've been a little bit of a break, because I watched this in 2 segments. I watched part 1 and then I watched part 2 of this. Every one of these has 2 parts in it. You're talking 3, 6, 9 hours total for The Hobbit. Just the second part is 3 hours alone. Absolute fantastic story. I love it. Love every bit of it, every minute of it. Let's talk just a little. Before I read this, I want to talk a little bit about Peter Jackson as Lord of the Ring. Not Peter Jackson as Lord of the Ring. I'll talk about Ian McKellen as Gandalf. Oh my gosh, Gandalf is just amazing, and he even brings some humor here. And his face his character's motions with his face. This Martin Freeman as Bilbo. Man, does he sell Bilbo? He is the perfect Bilbo. And the humor here with the dwarfs, I really like that. I mean, there's some humor here, but he nails Bilbo. The expressions on his face and his actions and things like that, absolutely wonderful. Orlando Bloom, what can you say about Orlando Bloom for the ladies? He's absolutely, he's gorgeous male specimen, Orlando Bloom. Oh my gosh, he looks, handsome here for the ladies. Evangeline Lilly, oh, I could watch Evangeline Lilly for hours in a silent movie. I mean, she is just mesmerizing. I really like Evangeline Lilly. I really liked her in that series Lost. Let's talk a little bit about Benedict Cumberbatch's voice of Smaug. Now that I know that, I can hear it. I can hear him in there. He does a great Smaug voice, absolutely. Luke Evans as Bard. Luke Evans does a great job here too. He was in Beauty of the Beast, the cinematic version. So that's it, folks. That's Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug in 3D. 5 out of 5 stars for the movie. 4.75 stars for the 3D. Would like to see just a little bit more pop out, but I got to tell you, 4.75 out of 5 is a good score. So, what'd you think? Did you see it? Did you see it in 3D? Did you see it in 2D? Did you see this at the theaters in 3D? How does this rate for you? The whole series Hobbit compared to Lord of the Rings, how does that rate for you? And how does this Desolation of Smaug rate for you out of the 3 parts to this story? I really like this center part, this part 2, I really like it. And that's my take on it, folks. So leave some comments below. Sorry for the long review. And leave some comments below. Hit that like and subscribe button. I want you to stay safe. Have a good night. And as always, God bless.